Hello, and welcome to the opening session for Enlighten Europe Online. My name is Candace Hubner, and I'm the IALD Administrative Coordinator. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some general housekeeping notes. If you have any technical issues, please put them in the chat function, and an ILD staff member will respond to you privately in chat. Also, this session will be recorded and available after the conference. Your microphones will be muted and cameras turned off for the duration of the session. And now, I'd like to turn the session over to the ILD President, Douglas Leonard.
Hola, guten Tag, buenas tardes. Ciao, bonjour. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever in the world you are right now. And welcome to our first ever ILD Enlighten Europe online event. This event is designed for online and is a smaller scale version of the Enlightening in-person conference. We are excited to be here together at a time when we may feel far apart. Although we may be connecting from our homes or offices, it is wonderful to note that we have people attending today from all over Europe and all over the world. People who may not have been able to attend in our in-person event, but can attend today. This year, we ask for your participation and engagement in helping make this Enlightening Europe event interactive and enjoyable for you and all of us. So turn on your cameras for the interactive sessions, use the chat feature, visit the virtual expo rooms on breaks, and explore our new virtual experience with openness and adventurous spirit. As many of you know, our Enlightening events are designed by lighting designers for lighting designers. I'd like to thank the ILD Content Advisory Group, led by Chair Christopher Norton. Thank you, Christopher. I'd also like to give a big thanks to our sponsors today who help support the ILD and help make this event possible. Our platinum sponsor, Linear Light Group. Okay, that's a nice video. And I'd also like to thank our other sponsors, our gold sponsor, Coolidge and Eldolet, and our silver sponsor, Neri. We want you to have a fun time at Enlighting. So play the scavenger hand game on your desktop or mobile app, complete the challenges and earn points. We will have prizes that will be awarded at the closing session. And now, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to today's opening session on how have you adapted and remained inspired throughout your career by this ever-changing field of lighting design. We have three incredible speakers from around the world who will each share their own perspectives, experiences, as leaders in the profession, and insights with you. The speakers are Kaoru Mende, Claudia Paz, and Kai Piippo. Our first speaker, Kaoru Mende, is a fellow of the ILD and has been a lighting designer for over 42 years. In 1990, he founded Lighting Planners Associates. Since then, the firm has grown from a single practice to 3 offices spanning Asia and working globally. Mende's achievements in the field of lighting design consist in more than 1,000 projects worldwide, ranging from residential and architectural to urban and environmental lighting design. Mende is also the acting chief of the Lighting Detectives, a citizens group that specializes in the study of the culture of lighting.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. This is Kaoru Mende talking from Tokyo, Japan in the morning. This 10 minutes presentation, this is my title, Big Different Now, and then 43 years ago when I started lighting designer as my career. And this is me. You see that this, black hair and heavy smoker. I stopped smoking 35 years, but still very small. And I have been working for the lighting manufacturer's laboratory, Yamagiwa Laboratory, that's from the 1978. And my colleague or the small boss, Mr. Takeshi Konishi, introduced me to the very important gentleman. Do you know his name? He is Mr. Edison Price, and he was a founder of the Edison Price Lighting, located in the Manhattan 60th Street, maybe yes, East Riverside. Small, garage makers. But he was a legend of the architectural lighting fixtures developer, and he developed so many important, the lighting fixtures like wall washer, the dark light, or the pinhole small or downlight, or etc., etc. And he got a prize for the AIA, American Institute of Architecture, of the gold medal. I don't know why the AIA just provide this award for Edison, but still that he is very important guy for the American architecture as well. So he just next time, introduced me to two gentlemen, Mr. Claude Engel, this guy, and Paul Marantz. So they are my meisters. Uh, so three gentlemen, without except three gentlemen, I am not here as a lighting designer now. So I was very impressed by them. They said light is a material or the lighting fiction is just a tool. So this is my, starting point to be a lighting designer. And then after that, I set up the LPA, Lighting Planners Associate, with this five gentlemen, one lady, 1990. Then nowadays, we have more or less 60 lighting designer staff at Singapore and Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's a big difference, the 6, person became to the 60. Big difference for me. And we published this book, and we just introduced for our chronology how to improve to the architectural lighting design in Japan. And yes, you see, 1950, I was born in here. At the same time, the American architectural lighting consultant has happened, maybe Richard Kelly or something. Then I started in 1978 as a career of the lighting designers. In the 1990, we LPA started our business. Then you see the 1993, this red the line makes the big news to develop blue LED, which was developed by the Japanese the engineer Shuji Nakamura. So blue LED makes that completely different the lighting design for us. We lighting designer have to just follow the 100% LED as a major light source from incandescent. So the big difference from the lighting source for the LEDs. And next big, the happening is the occurred in 2011. As you know, the big disasters in Japan, the northern part of Japan, and big earthquake, and makes after the tsunami everybody was so, miserable. And magnitude 9, big earthquake makes a tsunami, and we have almost 20,000 people dead or the missing. But the worst thing is not this Fukushima nuclear power plant was damaged. This is not a natural disaster. This is man-made disasters. So we Japanese now, know what the risk of the nuclear power, and we have to think about less energy, and we have to think about what is, the lighting design in the future, not only to the, very bright or the light, the lighting design, but we have to think about more the sophisticated way of the lighting design. So we published a book like this one, Designing with Shadow, and not designing with plenty of the light, even for the beautiful shadow. Right? We have to less energy and cook to very well with a beautiful shadowing effect. And at the same time, we set up our office, the 1990, we just set up the other organization, Lighting Detectives. This is completely non-profit organization in Japan. And look at it, we have 1990, more or less the 10 people. Now that we have like this, the 1,000 people, 1,000 membership people in the world. And this is a gathering photo, maybe a few years back in Kyoto. So the 10 lighting detectors became to the 1,000. Big difference. And even for the new technology, and it's still never stop developing day by day. And then the IoT or smart, the lighting, new technology is now coming. I don't know what's happening in the future, but we have to think about these things at the same time in the future, of course. But I, I'm a little bit old guys, and I have been saying learning from nature, natural light, lighting design principle of AVP. Origin of the lighting design exists in the natural light. This is our principle, and maybe we have to think about the new technology with the sense of the learning from nature. And the natural light, what is a natural light? Sun, fire, and moon, and stars, and even in the darkness. The darkness is very important aspect to design team. So we now think about how to imitate from the natural lighting, and the natural light, just teaching so many things, how the lighting designer should reflect this sense from the natural light, comfortable and happy, and beautiful enough, with not only spending energy, but playing shadowing. So this is our principles, and still we are very enjoy for this volcanoes and fires, and fire candles. Look at that; it's beautiful enough. That we have to imitate this sense of the beauty. And finally, I conclude this lectures, and the big difference between 40 years ago and now. Lighting designer means, the lighting design, what's the meaning of the lighting fixtures design, which I was not, the good at, the fixtures design, but I just focus for the architectural lighting and the lighting shadow and the urban lighting ecology. And the project data provided by client, that the client just provided us for at the beginning for the just for the reflected ceiling plan, So, but nowadays we need much more section drawing, furniture plan, or sometimes have a master plan from the client. And design fee, it's important for us, was a little bit small money by the pocket money of the architect became to that yes, reasonable amount of the design fee because of the direct client contract with client. And light source designers for, of course, for after an LED or the laser from the incandescent and tools of the presentation. I still good at hand sketches or the paper models, but our young the designer in my office is manipulated computers or the simulation or even for the virtual realities. And lighting designer is unfortunately becomes busier and busier. I was, the big dreamer or the pioneer for the lighting design 40 years ago. But now I have a headache and I'm too busy. So this is my 10 minutes, the presentation. Nobody knows what will be happen tomorrow, but I hope uh, to enjoy any dialogue with all of you in IALD, and let's improve our profession to the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaoru. Our next speaker is Claudia Paz, an IALD professional member and CLD. Claudia's passion for light moved her in 2001 to create an independent design practice, Claudia Paz Lighting Studio, that focuses on lighting and constant research for new technologies that can be applied to her projects. Paz Lighting Studio is recognized for their unique projects integrating light, art, technology, and interaction with architecture and landscapes to create emotions in people and bring innovating design solutions.
I want to share with you what inspires me, and I'm going to do that through my journey as a lighting designer and with some projects that creates an emotional connection. To do that, I need to explain to you how was lighting here like 15 years ago. So it was really difficult to explain to the architects and the clients that lighting needs to be designed. So we begin to, with little projects as restaurants, to begin to create themes with lighting to prove them that we also can add different stuff for the concept of the architecture and the interior design, rather than only set how much light you need to see. So here is a project that you can see that is an Astrid Gaston restaurant where only I add little bulbs makes this romantic sheen. And then we can see this project of a restaurant where light can make a statement. So I think lighting and the lighting designers, we have to be there, even if a simple solution have to be added. Like in this picture, as you see, we are the ones that knows that only some little spots is only necessary for the sheen to light the ropes. So I begin to realize through the years that really what inspires me the most was making people feel what I feel when I visit different installations and light schemes. I begin to ask me some question as an architect and a lighting designer that our main client is the people. If we light a church, it's the people that goes into the church. If we light a restaurant, it's the people that goes into the restaurant. So I begin to go furthermore from there, what I name emotional lighting. So here my journey began playing with light and technology and interaction. And this image that I'm showing to you is the first image that I have when I create Light Garden. It's about Alice in Wonderland with these giant flowers and with this idea that everybody can dream. And with this, we mix it with what happened around us daily. We saw kids going around playing, follow the light, and we mix this with technology and create a magical shim in the shopping mall where people can engage with the light. Then it comes another project really important for us, that was the BCP project. This is something that is a funny story, because I used to sit in the traffic, stuck in the traffic, seeing this building, and it looks really sad with the concrete walls and the small windows. And I was beginning to think, we should have stars in our sky. Why here in Lima didn't rain? And then, as magic, the project came to us. And this is the first image we do for the concept. It's raining falling down the facade. So here we have to design and draw and research a lot to create an art piece, an interactive art piece, to allow people to engage. I want to connect with their senses. I want that they touch and feel. I want that they hear and be involved. So this is how Affinity get to live in this facade, with different shims of stars, as you can see here, of rain and things that we don't have. And the most reward that we have here is, as you see in these pictures, is the people, effect that have lights in their life. So we still doing a lot of lighting design, but every time we enter to a project, I always looking for something special to do with these kind of projects with technology and lighting. I think that is what we have these days that we don't have years ago. The technology advanced so fast that we can create whatever thing we dream of. So we were doing the lighting design of a shopping mall, and there was an empty space that the client didn't rent that space. So I asked him for this space and painted it into black. And I create this installation that have tubes of lights around them. And the people begin to dance, begin to open their arms and feel that freedom that I even feel it only looking at them. So to say, what is the difference between what we do 15 years ago and what we do now, shouldn't be a difference, because we always focus on people. But the difference now is that technology allow us to create different scenarios. And of course, it's really important to work with multidisciplinary teams and to see the people interact. I think now we can realize that we are stuck or living in our houses and not enjoying the public spaces. And I think we need that connection. We need connection. We need to be outside. We need to feel free. And because 1,000 words are not enough to express what I'm saying, I want to leave you with this video.
Thank you, Claudia. And last but not least, I welcome Kai Piippo, a professional member of IALD. Kai, a Stockholm-based award-winning lighting designer, is head of design at Light Bureau. He has extensive experience in lighting design, and his vision is to create a safe and beautiful cities. His exceptional talent to create strong lighting design, together with his ability to understand stakeholders' needs, ensures that joint visions are realized.
Nice to be here. Nice to be able to talk with you all. I have been asked to talk about what inspires me and what gets me creative. So it's their topic. I would like to start with a question that a professor called Anders Liljefors asked me 35 years ago. He asked the audience in the lecture room, what is light? And then he tried to answer that question for 1 hour. I thought it was a pretty ridiculous question because light is light, you know, but the question has haunted me ever since. So I think it's a very personal question. It depends who you ask, the profession of the person. I would like to add to that question also, what is darkness? When I started many years ago to work with light, I started with theater. And in theater you start with nothing. And you build up your stage, your set, your story, your atmosphere, music from nothing. And this is, this is something that I still do when I do lighting design. I start with darkness in all my designs. But also now there is daylighting. So you start with daylight and darkness. I think light is the strongest link between human and architecture, human and material. This is where light is. And light is also, the fundament of all life on Earth. So it's so important, and we're designing it. It's amazing. So I think what you are also doing when you work with light and architecture, you have you're somewhere on Earth, you're maybe in Mexico, or I'm here in the Nordics. I have grown up with Nordic light. All my youth summers I was out in the ocean fishing salmon with net, and we had the midnight sun there. So this is my childhood, this is where I come from. And this is something that has affected me a lot during my, work, Nordic light, and the sensitivity towards light, the slow movement of the sun, slow movement of and all the aurora borealis, and I think you can learn a lot by just looking and train your vision, train your eyes to see interesting things. There's a lot of things to learn just to look at the right. If you go in the nature or in a shopping mall, you can see how light is functioning, basically, and what is good and what is bad. You can learn so much on a daily basis, basically. I saw once interesting thing. It was in a mirror, in a window. It was just a sun shining through 4 different layers of curtain and different kinds of plastics and glass, and there was a curtain on the inside as well, and it created this beautiful pattern. And I took a picture of it, and that became a concept for architectural project. These kind of small little, in the micro world almost, to see things, not only the big vistas, the sunsets, or you can see this in the smallest of things. So that has inspired me a lot, to see smaller things. Demanding clients, I think it's maybe one of the most important things for projects. clients that says, hey, we need to do the best possible thing in this project. Our dreams has to come true in this project. I've had a couple of these kind of clients, and they're wonderful. They inspire and challenges you to do the very best of what you can do today. So and also that creates a basis for your own team. I want to have a team around me, my own team, that is creative and has sort of no limits on their mind. And then, of course, you have the whole product team, and in the best of the world, you have a common ground that you can work on and try to find the best possible solution. I think the teamwork is so important, and that you have you as a designer, as a lighting designer, you need to find a good spot in that team. Art as well. I think James Turrell, I saw an exhibition by him 1993 here in Stockholm. It changed my life. He made art, light as art, as a material, and it was really amazingly nice, and it was the best thing I ever saw to that point, and to see also the old paintings by Vermeer, Rembrandt gives me a lot of inspiration. One thing that is really, really interesting for me personally is music, specifically classical music. To go to a concert and just shutting your eyes, listening to whatever you're listening to, and oh, that fills me with so much pictures, so much imaginary, creations. I usually have a paper and a pen. I can write down all these pictures, and this is one of the most amazing things, classical music. New technology. Oh, we live in the best of the worlds right now. With new technology, we can do things that we couldn't do 5 years ago. It's nice to mix the new technology with historical projects. We have done now a very big facade project with Östermalmshallen. Whole facade installed voltage 3000 watt. Used voltage in the night is 900 watt. So we dim everything, 207 luminaires, dim down to perfect balance. And also luminaire at Stockholm's Grand Central Station, Lucette, which has not been really visible during the night, and we have hidden a small luminaire to show the golden finish of it. The same thing with Norrmalmstorg, golden luminaire. We need to show the gold. I love gold and the warm metals. So this is the way. Also with light is with new technology. What do you communicate with your house or your city? You can lighting design a whole city to be able to communicate and create. My vision is to create a living city, a city that is alive with beautiful settings, beautiful architecture, beautiful parks, bring out the beauty of the city with light, and that creates a publicly friendly environment, and a safe spaces. So that gives totally a livable city and a living city. That's my vision. And a lot of the history within a city is also giving me a lot of inspiration. I think if you have you need to read your history of every project you have to understand what to do in the future. Historical analysis is key for many projects. To travel is interesting. To travel and see architecture that you have not seen. Experiencing how it's done. when I travel, I see a lot of chapels, churches, historical, projects, and try to understand how they did it back then. And I have a question. I mean, Alvar Aalto is my favorite architect. What would he have done with LED technology? That's a question that I have, haunts me. He was fantastic. So there is so many things to experience around us and to learn from. I hope I have given you something to inspire you and to search more knowledge. So thank you for me.
Thank you, Kai. It's been extremely interesting to hear what has inspired each of you. We can use this to inspire ourselves and others. Thank you for attending. The next 2 sessions start soon. In one track, you will listen to minimized tools in heritage architecture. And the other one is biophilia, the new lighting design. What do we need to know? So make your choices and see you in a while. Please note that you will have access to the majority of the sessions after the event.